Lift it. I want to see these pretty people. Why did you invite me out there? That makes no sense. How you guys doing? Cold as hell here, nobody told me. Peter's just inside my stomach and everything, that's crazy.
Like Berkeley!
What?
Like Berkeley!
It's like Berkeley?
It's not here, bro.
You're weird. Anyway. I'm playing, man. Yo, man, I love doing these college events, man. It's kind of crazy to me because, I mean, normally I do stand-up, but I think like the best way for me to do this is just be interacting with you guys because I don't really do stand-up anymore, man. I've been doing a lot of film lately. I'm not sure if you guys saw a film that I did called Gook. I love saying Gook. It's tight. Gook! Yeah, man, like I've been, it's a crazy time to be Asian right now, man. When I was younger, dude, being Asian was not cool, but not everybody wants to be it. It's so dope. Got these like white people like spinning their eyes back and shit. Now I'm like, oh, yeah. People know about kimchi and stuff. It's so wild. You guys are so lucky, dude. Yo, when I was a kid growing up, man, I grew up in a very diverse area, but I was like that one Asian kid that grew up with a bunch of black people. So I'm 6 foot, but I was still the shortest one. And it was such a wild time for me. So when I first started, I actually started doing stand-up because I just kind of grew up around a lot of funny people. So if you guys know, back in the day, one of my very first videos that popped out was me making fun of this girl named Alexandra Wallace. And she was a UCLA girl. And I remember the first time that shit popped up, I was like, I'm fucking famous. I was so hyped. I was like, women are gonna talk to me. So I remember the first time that, so I was going to this school called UCR, it was the University of California, Riverside, and my brother, I remember dude, he texted me, he goes, yo bro, you're going viral. And I was like, dude, what does viral mean? He's like, dude. So he was in a library, and he legit was at UCSB seeing everybody watching on their laptop. And at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I dropped out of college. I was like, I'm done. I'm out. And so I left college. It was really that easy. I just needed one reason to leave. Do you have any idea how awkward that conversation was with my parents? My parents, I was like, listen, I'm famous now. I don't need any of you. I'm out. So I remember too when I left to go to LA, I sold everything that I had. So being an Asian American kid, especially with my parents, first of all, my dad, he was always worried about me. I was a troublemaker as a kid. Like, number one, I didn't really do well in school. I don't even know how I got to a university. Honestly, I think it's because I'm cute. But other than that, I have no idea how I got to university. I got in, and to me, my dad was thinking that school was the only option for me. And you know what? I love school. Like if it wasn't for the fact that I'm stupid, I would still be in school. But other than that, like I'm telling you, man, like I remember when I left to go to LA, I sold everything that I had. And growing up as a broke kid, when you had Jordans, I had like 12 pairs of Jordans. I sold everything, and I cried. I sold all my shoes. I sold everything that I had, and all I took to LA was a computer, one DSLR camera, and that's it. It was like one of the hardest decisions I ever had to make because I decided to drop out of college, and growing up as a kid, college was everything to me. Like if I didn't go to university, if I didn't go to school, I thought that I wasn't going to make it because it was kind of buried in my head. But after a while, I had to tell myself, like, you know what, dude, like you gotta take that risk. And so this is a true story. So the moment that I decided that school really wasn't for me, obviously other than the fact that I was failing, I remember I had to take this blue book test, right? And yeah, I hate those! Stupid. So I had to take the stupid blue book test, and I remember I sat in class, and as the professor was speaking, like nothing was going through my head, and I just took this big marker out, I drew a big smiley face in it, I closed it, and I turned it, and I walked, and I never went back to school ever again. And it was scary for me. And I remember when I turned to you, you're done already? I was like, hell yeah, I'm done. Oh, hey, baby. Walked out. No, I didn't. Failed. Dropped out. In your fucking face. I moved to LA, and it was such a crazy experience for me. I think the hardest thing about that was kind of when you move out and you don't really have the support of your parents, you kind of feel a little alone, right? But for me, I just had to do it. And I remember the first time my dad, he didn't, my dad's so funny too. Like, he tries to be supportive, but not supportive at the same time. Like, I remember when I told him I was going to be a stand-up comic, this is what he said. I was like, Dad, I want to have a serious one-on-one talk with you, and I'm going to drop out of college, and I want you to be there to support me. And he goes, oh, so what do you want to be? I was like, I want to be a stand-up comic. I've been doing it since I was 16, and I'm ready to do it. He goes, oh, so you want to be poor? Go ahead. You son of a bitch. You're so cute. Yeah, but even without his blessings, I had to make that move. Now, during this time, I didn't really know about this thing called YouTube. Like, at this time, YouTube, you couldn't really make money off of it. I didn't know about that stuff. So when we started off doing YouTube was just a platform for people to have fun, and I wanted to use it to get people to know my stand-up. So when I caught on YouTube, I just remember there was this dude, his name was Shane Dawson. And yeah, man, I looked at this stuff and I was like, and mind you, at this time I was such a hater, and I looked at his stuff and I was like, this dude's not funny at all. You know, I could do it way better. He's funny. But I kind of took that and decided to, I didn't know that you could upload stuff on YouTube at all. And so, coming from a traditional stand-up background, I was like, well, I have all these crazy stories, I might as well just put it up into these videos and see what happens. How many Korean people we got here? You guys have any like crazy Korean parents? Yeah. My mom's a fucking psychopath. That was a psychopath. Like, half my personality is from her, and I'm only figuring out now because I'm messed up is because of her. I kid you not, I don't know how many of your parents do this, and I'm starting to figure out it's probably just my mom. Whenever my mom and dad get into a fight, she literally runs away. She gets up on her size 3.5 feet, and she runs away. Every time my mom fights with my dad, she goes, I'm going back to Korea! I'm like, how? You don't even drive. She's like, I'm walking. Across the ocean? You Jesus? You can't walk on water. What's wrong with you? This woman runs away. When I was 22, I remember this shit for the rest of my life, man. Like, after a while, as you grow up, you start to realize your parents are human. You kind of get tired of shit. So my mom, what she does every time she gets to a fight with my dad, she goes into her secret hiding space, the garage. So, like, we're not gonna fight her. So she gets into a fight with my dad over some bullshit, like it always is. She threw a rice cooker at my dad's head, you know, regular shit. She disappears, and I'm looking for my mom. I go into her secret hiding spot, the garage. I look into some cardboard boxes. I look into some shoes, like some of the toolboxes. She's not in there. I don't know where she's at. So I go to her other secret hiding spot, the backyard. I go to some bushes. She's not there. At this point, I'm freaking the fuck out. I go to Sacramento, California, on the south side. It's not very nice. It's a very bad neighborhood. I'm like, my mom's gone. She's out of here. And I look at my dad. Mind you, I'm 22 years old this time. And my dad, like the creepy old man he is, looks at me. He goes, David, I have to find you a new mommy. Don't say that. So, at this point, I'm like, dude, let's just get in the car and look for my mom. We go all around over Sacramento. I can't find her. I'm freaking the fuck out. I can't find my mom. Like, first of all, like I said, she's like 4 feet tall. I don't know where she is. She's hyper aggressive. Somebody's gonna kill her. And so we're looking for this woman. We come back, and then my dad's just fed up. He walks into the house. This is a true story. I shit you not. This is how crazy my mom is. I go inside the house. I'm about to go inside the house, and right at the front door, I see this garbage can move. I'm like, no. And it's not even the fact that she's in the garbage can, she's in between the garbage and the recycle bin. Like this bitch had 1 foot out like this. The worst hide and seek woman ever, dude. I come up to her, I'm like, oh mom, get the fuck out of the garbage can. As a full-grown adult, this was her response. Her second response. And how do I explain this to white people? Like, I can't go to school the next day day and explain why I'm late, my mom was pretending to be a cat. So it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense. Like, what were you talking about? It's a Korean thing. You wouldn't understand this, English. You wouldn't understand. Oh, stressful. That's why I'm so messed up. It's my parents. It's not my fault. So at this point in my life, so if you guys know, I work with a group called JK Films. Want to do some great stuff, dude? So when I met JK Films, they were actually one of the biggest reasons why I actually stayed on YouTube. I was actually going to quit YouTube after the first year because I hated it. I didn't like it. Remember when I came from a traditional stand-up background, and what a lot of you might may or may not know, being a YouTuber like 7 years ago was kind of looked down upon. So when I was doing stand-up, I remember this time, and this is just a life lesson to tell you guys that when you're doing something right, there's always somebody that's going to look down on you. So I was doing stand-up, and I was doing this stand-up show at this place called the Ice House Pasadena. And it was a group of comics, and on the flyer, now mind you, at this point, let's see, 16, I was like, what, 24 at the time when I went to LA, 22, 24, something like that. I've already been doing stand-up for 8 years, and on the flyer, everybody had their name, whatever, on the list, and then everybody should say stand-up comic, and on my name it said YouTuber. And I was like, oh, it's like that. Right? And so, for me, that was one of the biggest moments where I actually wanted to quit, because I worked so hard to be something, and then it was taken away from me because people didn't want to take me seriously on this space. And I remember when I was in the back room, there was this guy that walked up to me, and he goes, hey, what's up, bro? He goes, yo, I heard you're trying to do stand-up. He goes, yeah, you're a YouTuber. Well, I've been doing stand-up for, 3 years, so if you need some tips, just let me know. And I just looked at him, I was like, that's cute, dude. I've been doing it for 8, now shut the fuck up and get on my face. It is what it is. I've been like that since day one. If you kick my ass, I wouldn't admit it. So, I would have told the story completely different. I would kick his ass. I couldn't do anything about it. I would just lie. But that's the kind of space that I grew up in, man. And I know that for a lot of you guys out there, it's so weird for me, man. Just because of, like, when I see you guys, I kind of see myself in a lot of you, because you guys are in a weird space where you're really trying to figure out who you are. Like, your identity is like everything to you, right? Like, every time you wake up, you're like, who am I? What group am I going to be in? What am I going to eat? Is she going to like me? Is she going to reject me? Is he going to talk to me? Dude, that shit fucking sucks! I hate it! I have a girlfriend that is fantastic. I don't think about any of that shit. I lost weight after I got with her. She's so happy. She's like, oh my god, that's what your penis looks like? I'm like, yes! I lost 60 pounds. That shit was what? You know what? First of all, I just want to say this to you guys. I know I have to keep this family friendly, but fuck you guys. None of you told me I was fat. I had no idea. I was walking around like I was a shit. I literally had no idea I was fat. I was a fat guy that looked at other fat people, and I called them fat. And I was fatter than them. True shit. Dude, I was, you know the first day that I realized that I was a fat person was because of Mario. We were sitting, having lunch, and I was eating my food. And as I was eating my food, breathing really heavy, like a fat person does, I was eating a salad, chewing on that shit. And Mario looks at me, and I noticed this couple that was sitting across from us, and they were fairly large. I looked at them, and I looked at Mario, I was like, dude, Mario, look at them. I was fat people. She looks at me and she goes, you're fat. Me? Dude, you're overweight. I was like, dude, what's wrong with you? What do you mean, me? She goes, you're fatter than them. They're looking at you in disgust. Like, what are you talking about? You have any idea? That was the moment I realized that I was a fairly large guy. My self-esteem is so high, I had no idea. Dude, when you get into that certain level of denial, after a while, you just blame everybody else but you. I was like, dude, they don't make double XLs like they used to anymore. Just like tugging at your shirt. I'm like trying to fix my dryer. Like, damn, this shit's crazy, dude. Your knees start popping for no reason. All these kids are like, oh, you mean like Pop Rocks? No, that's my kneecap, bitch. I was a big kid my whole life, dude. Shit sucked. And I was too eager. Eager little kid. You know what? In my neighborhood, there was a lot of children kidnappings. Nobody wanted to kidnap me. I was way too easy. Apparently, like pedophiles, they have like standards too. I wasn't fun enough. They would open up the van, I would walk up and like, no, not you. Just move. They wouldn't even offer me candy. I just assumed it was in there. I was like, what's up? Standards. You guys watch that Michael Jackson Neverland thing? Dude, that shit is wild. Did you see that? Yeah. You guys should be studying. Shame on you. That documentary was the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. First of all, we cover stuff like this on JK News all the time, and people get mad at me because, I tend to joke about a lot of things, but sometimes when things are so bad, you just have to laugh at it. Like, there was this one part of the documentary that made me laugh so hard, not because it was funny, it was just because of how ridiculous it was. There was a point where he said, Michael Jackson had me go into a corner just so he could look at my butthole. I was like, what? What do you mean? He said, he told me to stand there, and he told me to spread my butt cheeks, and all he did was stare at it. I was like, that is a weird person, dude. If anything, if he was like, he should just go to jail just for being weird. What the fuck is that about? I'm telling you, man. Well, at this point, since we're going to have to wrap it up, I'm leaving this open to a Q&A portion. So, if you guys want to ask me anything, now's a chance.
Can you sing for us? Yes.
It's so weird when Asian people yell at me, just reminds me of my parents. Sing! What would you, man, I don't even know to sing. What would you like me to sing?
Disney! Hollywood Avenue! Tony Magic!
You like Can I get some water, please? Oh, damn, there's hella people over here. Sure looks like immigration over here, man. All the traditional bars and shit. I want to stay here, please. Hey, please. Anybody got water? Thank you. I can't sing this like water. My mouth is parched and shit. Dude, that shit scared the fuck out of me, dude. They all the rice hats and shit. Dude, that shit was tight. Yo, the Vietnamese dancing was so fucking wild. When they brought out 2 hats, I'm like, 2 hats! Asian people are magicians, dude. You guys don't even know. We do your taxes and do magic. Tastes like your lips. We're kissing right now, boy. This is the most disrespectful thing that's ever happened. Dude, this is so awkward. Like, I never know what to sing, by the way, right when I start. And the reason why I'm sitting down, too, by the way, is because my zipper broke, so. That's some real shit. What was the song that one? I heard Eric Passion Lemonade Avenue. Dude, my honeymoon, that's the hardest song I've heard. Let me practice real quick. Everybody look that way, I'm shy. I'm starting to say a lower key. I looked in my rear view mirror. I looked in my rear view mirror and I see ahead of us, yeah. I'm ready to make that turn before we both crash and burn. 'Cause that could be the death of us, baby. You know how to too high, you motherfucker. Like, I only like a few set of YouTubers, but some of these YouTubers are so fake. Like, I listen to some of their interviews and like, yo man, I started singing back in the day because I fell in love with music the moment I heard a spoon fall on the ground. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a musician. No, you didn't. You sang because you wanted pussy. That's what it was. That's exactly why I did it, and it didn't work. Music doesn't change your face, apparently. That's the part that sucks the most. Another question? What? Am I going to come up? So, right now, when I did Goop took the life out of me. The biggest reason why I did Goop the film was because I'm a very spiteful human being. And I think that's just because I'm Korean. Like, Korean people, like, half the reason why we do things is because we hate people. I couldn't, when I was going into the whole Hollywood realm, so there was a time when, you know Vine was really big. So a lot of these Vine actors were getting signed to these acting agencies, but they wouldn't go to auditions. So they thought that they were above that platform. I wanted to get signed as an actor, and nobody would sign me. They just wouldn't do it. They just thought that, number one, I wasn't going to show up, that I wasn't a good actor. So I kind of took that, and I was like, you know what? If you don't want to cast me, I'm going to make a film. I did a film called Goop. So when I did Goop, and it got into, first of all, I didn't even think it was going to get into Sundance. Sundance is a big deal. If any of you guys out there want to be a filmmaker, if you get into Sundance on your first try, that's like, I don't know, I think it's pure luck. But I got in. And I did it through an Asian American story, which was wild, right? It was my story growing up as a kid. That film took the life out of me. If you guys know too, during that time when I was doing that film, I took a huge break off of YouTube. It took the fucking life out of me. So if I'm going to do another film, I actually am working on a couple of projects right now. One, it's about the relationship between me and my brother growing up. So I'm not sure if you guys ever had like a sibling that was the golden child, and then you had the other sibling that was the David So. and I kind of wanted to speak on that because it was so. I'm talking about when I was a kid, man. Like my brother was so favored. I kid you not. This one time my brother and I got into an argument about the flavor of a warhead. And he was like, it's lemon. I was like, nah, it's lime, bitch. And then he stopped me in my eye. I got in trouble because I punched his fist with my eyeball. So, somehow, I had a black eye, I got grounded, and I got my ass beat by my parents. Everybody in the household had a hand on me, basically, at that point. So that's the type of relationship that I'm going to develop my next film on. Yeah. Another question?
What's your workout routine?
Shower. You hitting on me? What's up? I just walk. I know that sounds so wild. So everybody doesn't believe me when I say this. They go, yo, how did you lose that 60 pounds? I walked. All I did was walk. Like it was, and you would think too, by the way, when you're 260 pounds, walking is hard. It's difficult, dude. At a certain point, during the second mile of my walk, I started apologizing for my shoes. I'm so sorry. They were just getting flatter and flatter. They just ended up being flip-flops at the end of the walk. But I lost weight by, number one, fixing my relationship with food. Number one, every time I ate food, I would eat like I was going to the electric chair. Like that's how it was. Like you ever go eat at a buffet and you come back home and then you open up a bag of chips? I'm that dude. So I would be that type of guy. So I fixed my relationship with food and I just started doing something that was active every day. So one of the things that I kind of really implemented was kind of like relishing in small victories. So if I woke up this one day, and even if I didn't complete that mile, I completed half a mile. Then that half mile became a mile, then that mile became 2, then that mile became 3. Then after a while I started doing Muay Thai and kickboxing, and now I just get beat up every day. So people are literally beating the fat out of me now. Another question?
Are you trying to go down tonight? Set up your nights out for you.
It sounded like you were throwing a gang sign at me. I don't know what you said. No, not good. What? You guys trying to party or what? Question though? What's my JK News number? My favorite JK News number? Ooh. You know what? To be honest with you, this is actually an easy question for me. It's Joe. Joe's a rapper. Joe doesn't make any sense at all. And I'm a rapper. You have to realize, I've known Joe for 8 years, but till this day, he makes me cry laughing. I don't know what goes on in this fool's mind. I've literally seen this dude do to me. I would ask him a question like, hey Joe, what do you want to eat for lunch? He goes, respect, thank you so much. It's chill. Put it next to my coach. Yeah, Joe is probably like one of those dudes on JKBs that always has me tears laughing because he just lives in another world. Like even when he does shit like that, like I kid you not, we were all sitting in that meeting and he goes, in your face. What does that mean, dude? But I've gotten to know him for so long now, I already knew what he was doing. He had a magical paintbrush and he was drawing his words out like a rainbow and then he put a period at the end of the sentence. And it was savage. Another question?
What's your phone number?
Why are you so aggressive? Is that how you talk to women, dude? I think that doesn't work at all. I haven't got the number, I have no idea why. My name is Alan! Okay. What's another question?
What's your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, dude. There's so many things. I embarrass myself on a regular basis, dude. That's hard to say, man. Like I can't really remember because I tend to be somewhat shameless. So after something bad happens, I forget about it like it never happened before. Ever. But I think probably like the most embarrassing thing that I'd ever done when I was young was trying to be a thug. That was the dumbest thing I ever. Me? Really, dude? Like, so I grew up in a very bad area, and you know, I think like where I grew up to, there wasn't this like sense of like Asian men not being masculine because every Asian dude that I grew up with was a thug. They like killed somebody, they did some type of crime, and I wanted to be that so bad. But look at me plus 80 pounds, flip-flops and socks, and a bowl cut. And I'm over here trying to rob people like that. People, what is wrong with you, dude? The most embarrassing thing I ever did definitely had to be during that time where I tried to be a gangster. I'm talking about some stuff like, I remember when I was trying to join a gang, and you guys are laughing puppies. I remember I was trying to join this gang, and the only way you could get into this gang was if you did a drive-by. And I was like, oh shit, you know what? I can do that. Like, I could be that dude that could do that drive-by. So, the night before, I did like 7 drive-bys, and I walked up to the dude, and he was like, yo, did you do this shit? I was like, yeah, of course I did, dude. I drove by 7 homes. He's like, no, stupid bitch! Did you kill them? I'm like, no, you just told me to do a drive-by. That's what I did. Now, I'm like, it was just some of the dumbest things ever, just because I always, when you're younger, you just want to be something that you're not. I should have just stuck to my guns. I was the anime kid. I liked anime. I just had one crush on one girl throughout all of high school, which I did get her, by the way. She got me, she cheated on me. But other than that, it's all good. Fuck her. No, she was really sweet. I'm an emotional wreck. That's about it. 2 more questions, 1 more. What the hell? That's it? That's all you want me to do? What? You just want me to do a Vietnamese accent? Out of all the things I can do? I can dance, baby? No, I'm kidding. Why you want me to do that, man? Guys sound like a little weird, man. The reason why I know so many random Vietnamese words is because I grew up, like I said, with a lot of Asian gang members, and all of them were Vietnamese, and I primarily dated only Vietnamese girls until I was like 24. So I wanted to learn Vietnamese just so, you know. One more question.
What's your favorite anime?
Oh, you got me, girl. Damn, all you guys watch anime nerds. Just kidding. We're all nerds. It's the cool thing now, dude. Hell yeah. It's time for us to rise up. Favorite anime of all time. That's so damn good. But there's this anime that I really, it's actually the only mecha anime I like. It's called Technicolor. Yeah, man, you We're doing it like Naruto style and stuff. His arms back like this. So I'm gonna show you these people's faces. You all follow the news. Anyways, guys, but before I leave, man, I do like to share this story with you guys. Oh, just real quick, and it's something that it took me a while for me to realize. Growing up, man, like I always wanted to feel, I guess the word is like special, right? And I think one of the biggest things that I made a mistake on was always looking at what somebody else was doing and wanting what they had. And so I would kind of covet what they were doing. And the worst part about doing that, and especially nowadays, because you guys are on social media all the time. And when you're on this phone, and you look at Instagram, you tend to compare yourself to a lot of people that, number one, they're not real. The only person that's real on Instagram is probably me. Which is why my Instagram is like trash. But thank you. But what? But it's one of the hardest things that I think that, you know, from here on out, like we all have to deal with. It's just going to be in your face 24/7. And I think I realized later on, and the biggest thing that helped me out, that'll probably help you guys out too, and I don't know if you're ever going to internalize this or not, is that if you're doing this now, stop wasting your time focusing on what everybody else is doing. It is the biggest waste of your life. One of the hardest things that people deal with on a regular basis is focusing on all of their failures. People fail all the time. In fact, I'm the best at failing. Failing is actually my skill. I failed so much, you have no idea. I was supposed to be this way 10 years ago. I told Marigold 4 years ago when we got together, I was like, baby, this is just a start. 3 months, 6-pack, baby. 4 fucking years. Failures are just a part of the process. And I think that what happens is when you compare yourself to something that's just not real all the time, you guys are just going to wake up sad every day. Failures are supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be great at everything. And that's okay. We have this like process right now where everybody tells you right now, oh, you know what? You're depressed. You're depressed. You're depressed. Sometimes, you guys, life just sucks. It's supposed to be that way, man. I was supposed to be in the NBA. And you're laughing, what the fuck? But things happen. You know, I'll always remember what this person asked me to when I was doing this college show, and he told me, he goes, you know, I want to do what you're doing because I want to feel special. Like I don't think I have anything special about me. I don't think I'm very unique. And to me, that doesn't really make sense because you guys have to realize something, and this is, maybe you could take away from this or not, but if you don't think that you're unique, just factually, that doesn't make any sense. From the moment that you're born to the day that you die, nobody is ever going to experience what you experience through your eyes. Your existence is that unique. The hard part is what you do with your time to figure out why. So if you're waking up every day, you don't have this drive to figure that out. Every day is just going to go by slowly and slowly and slowly. One of my biggest fears right now is waking up without motivation. I used to feel like that. I used to wake up, this is when I was going to school, and this is some serious shit. I used to wake up, and every time I had to go to university, I just didn't want to wake up. I didn't find purpose in it. It killed me inside. So that day when I opened up that blue book and I wrote that smiley face, that literally represented how I felt. I was like, fuck you. I'm going to be happy. I closed that book, I turned it, and I never looked back. So, once again, do you, focus on you, figure out what makes you happy. Don't look at other people and see what they're doing, figure out what you're doing. I can't do what you do. Maybe you can do what I do, but I for sure can't do what you do. Trust me, I tried it for like 6 years, okay, well, son. So, if anything, if you guys can take something away from that, I hope it helps you. So, thank you guys.